used iAuditor. Very, very great tool, by the way. Very great tool. I did some research on the actual creator of the iAuditor app, and the guy who started everything. Can't remember his name right now, but um, I gotta say I'm impressed with him. I mean, for him to be able to, I believe he said he used to do workers' comp insurance stuff, and
Hmm.
I was I was like, this guy is a genius, man. He went from that to creating this business, um, which I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I said, man, I wish I could have came up with that. And it'd been nice, man. If I could have came up with this, I'd be somewhere in the Bahamas right now, man. I mean, this is nice. I mean, of course, I would still work, but I'm saying I'd be able to travel and I'd be a business owner at that point. And when you got people like yourself that operate certain positions and know how to function, it would alleviate. It bless me to be able to continue just to go out and kind of, hey, all right, yeah, answer a few phone calls, maybe do a few, team meetings, talk about some things that we've seen, and come in, fly in, and do that. But I could still kind of travel a little bit, but I'm very impressed with the iAuditor app. Um, if you don't mind kind of speaking about just kind of the compliance and safety regulations that you all kind of deal with within the business, that would be nice for the listeners.
Yeah, for sure. And Anthony, I couldn't agree more with you on talking about Luke Anear, our
Hmm.
founder and CEO. And that's why I came on board is because even though I was a customer and used iAuditor in everyday life, um, it was really about like meeting him, understanding his story. Because whenever you look at someone that was he was a videographer, he was an investigator in workers comp, and going out and like catching these folks that were uh whether they were kind of skirting the system on workers comp claims. And one day he was like, I want to be on the other side of this. There's something more that we can do to prevent people from being in these situations. And
Hmm.
that's whenever he got a couple guys together in a garage in Townsville, Australia, and they put together iAuditor. And whenever you have like 1.5 million customers or users globally in 85 different countries, you know that you're on the right track. And
Yes.
whenever you said, I'd be in the Bahamas, this guy, we were just in Hawaii a couple weeks ago together at our company conference. And you cannot tell the difference between him and anybody else. He is just one of us. He's not in this leisure suit. He's in his shorts. He's in his safety culture t-shirt, and the most personable individual that you could ever imagine interacting with. But his heart is there. Like, he is so engaged with the business on a daily basis that this is his baby, this is his platform. And that's why I wanted to come to work for the company, because just like you said, you'd used iAuditor before in the past. Now there is so much other competition that's out there.
Hmm.
But what separates safety culture from all the competition is the people. The way that way that I was interacted with as a customer, the way that they lead by their values, like they truly live their values on a daily basis. That's whenever I said, hey, I want to go to work for that company. I want to be a part of that something special that they are building. And last November I had that opportunity. So
Wow.
that was really cool. And what we do with iAuditor is an operations platform. So it really isn't just about compliance. This is about helping organizations do their best work every single day by improving their safety, quality, efficiency, really opening up that communication, that transparency, that digitization for our customers, where they can digitize their processes. They can have that transparency, and it really is that continuous improvement loop where these companies are getting better every single day. And that's the name of the game, and what we want to be a platform for our customers.
Man, as you were talking, man, I'm just impressed with Mr. Luke, man. I mean, I haven't met him, but the way you're talking about him, I'm like, man, this is somebody that I think I could sit down and we could talk safety probably for hours, different experiences. And you know, I guess what impressed me with him the most was I think when I started using iAuditor, I was 2 years into safety at that point. And no, I was a year and a half in. And how did I get how did I get hip to him? But I think what it was I was trying to see, yeah, I was really trying to figure out like this entrepreneur mindset. Like how do you create something like this? Because I was using it and I was like, wait a minute, who created this? Like, okay, and I started doing research and I found out who he was. And I listened to I think I listened to three of his interviews and maybe like out of those three, I probably listened to one like 3 or 4 times because I was trying to see, is there something I could do like this? Because this guy is a genius, man. For him to do something like, especially knowing how safety is, me being in it, I was like, man, for him to be able to come from that type of mindset, it kind of reminded me of Jeff Bezos, like
Mm-hmm.
in the garage. And I was like, man, this guy here is a genius. And then I seen him talk on TED Talk, I believe it was. And I said, man, this guy here. And then just hearing what you're saying about him, it speaks a lot of volumes about, his character and who he is as a person. I think that's great, man. I think that's great.
Yeah, he is definitely another level, and that's exactly what I did. Is like whenever I got invited to do a customer talk for safety culture back in 2019, I was like, I fanboyed him up, man. I was listening to the podcast, watching the videos, all this type of stuff, because I was just so intrigued about like that entrepreneur type of mindset and
Mm-hmm.
how he stepped his way through his journey and then started this thing from the garage, which is a great story in itself, and then created this multinational company where now we have offices, two in Australia, a few here in the US, the UK, Manila, Amsterdam.
Wow.
I mean, now we have EdApp underneath of our belt on the learning management side and their offices. So it's amazing just the growth from five guys in a garage to now what we have today and continuing to build on that.